Hi, this is Greg Bailey. I'm going to go through what a typical team member might see when they log into SharkPro projects. Also, if you're just looking at SharkPro projects for the first time, you may not quite have all this demo data in there, so wanted to give you a little bit of a sense, if you haven't had a chance to go through our training yet or one of the webcasts, how you can maneuver around the system very easily. In general, when a user logs in, they're going to go in as a particular role. So if you're a team member, an executive, or a project manager, and I'm going to focus on team member, the various options up here change depending on what rights and what authority has been granted. There's quite a bit that's been given right out of the box, but in general, some of the items that we're going to see as a team member on my home page is who else is working on the project with me. I also have the ability to see what skills or what other information about a particular team member through the profile that's set up in the system. I can see here that I have some upcoming milestones. If I want to go look at more detail on it, I can click on that. I also can see any upcoming events for the project or across all projects. So again, I'm in as a team member. I'm looking at the home page, and I'm looking across projects, or I can pick a particular project. So a couple of other things you'll notice as I look down, and again, you should have some demo data in your environment, but if not, I could click on a particular event, and if I wanted to drill into the particular workspace for that event, I can do that. So it's really easy to create new events and look at, for example, a new meeting that's been set up where we've got our objectives and our agenda and documents that might be associated with it. All really out of the box or ready to go workspaces that are created with SharkPro projects. Now, a couple of other things I thought I would show you is that when a user goes in and wants to, say, track or is assigned time for a particular project, there's a number of ways that they can go ahead and update their time. They can do that either through the task timer, and you notice here that John is associated with a number of tasks, and there's quite a few of them that are actually late. He can click on the task timer, and it'll actually start tracking the amount of time that he's spending on this particular task. When I can either pause the time on that task, or when I'm finished with that task, it'll actually update my project plan based on the approval authority and the workflow that's been assigned. I can also see documents that have been associated and any forum post based on that particular meeting. Again, just want to give you a general sense that I am a team member. I'm seeing who else is working with me, events that are coming up, any posts that have happened, documents, and then I can be tracking my time for what I've been spending on that. So let's kind of work through a couple of other items. We talked earlier about, in one of the other sessions, about ideas and creating new requests, so I won't go through that, but that's how I would enter a possible new request on a project. If I did have some particular meetings or other collaborations that we're doing on a project, that's what would show up in the collaborate area, and we'll talk a little bit later about how you would create one of those. So a couple of other things that I can do is, if I've been assigned tasks to work on and I can see that there's been some late, I can go take a look at those tasks. Again, I can just look at it here or drill into any particular late tasks, and SharkPro projects automatically will set up these notifications and these red, yellow, green indicators on how things are doing on our projects. Now, if I drill into these tasks, I can see a little bit more detail on those tasks. I can actually see milestones, just a slightly different view. So again, I just wanted you to kind of click around the system. You'll see a number of different views. Main thing we want to be able to do is present to a particular user that there are issues or tasks that are late on the project, and it's all very context sensitive and just presenting the information that's important to a particular user. A couple of other items is, if I'm going to report time, I can do it through that task timer. I can do it through the SharkPro projects timesheets, which is a little bit more of a simplified calendar-based status update form. So I can look at a calendar, report my hours, and I'll come back and show you also that I can do that through the calendar feature. So Taking a look as a team member wanting to report time, you can see I've got a really simple calendar here. Hours are being tracked as I'm updating. If I wanted to say I'm working on this particular task, 5 hours, almost done, and add that, that'll track that work as well. Now, what's interesting is that we have the option of doing it this way. We have the option of doing it through the task timer. And because we are powered by Microsoft Project Server, there is a number of more robust ways that we can report time if you'd like to leverage those. I'm really showing what comes out of the what's ready to go with SharkPro projects, but Project Server does have a very detailed timesheet that we can leverage, and we also have the ability to update just progress tasks via a calendar. So for example, if I want to update, for example, post inside sales positions, you'll see that it'll bring up a task form which is a little bit more progress oriented. So really wanted to let you see that there's really multiple ways that you can have people report progress on their projects, have them report their time. SharkPro projects really gives us multiple ways, from the very simple task timer to slightly more visual user interface in the calendar, to a little bit more of a project-oriented view, to the much more detailed timesheet. So with that, I want to thank you very much for seeing the view of what a time or team member might see, and we'll come back a little bit more and show some of the example reports and some other views that a user might want to look at.